Thank you for joining us, everyone. Today we have the privilege of meeting with retired Army Brigadier General Greg Bowen, who's going to talk to us about the Military Affairs Committee and how it interacts with the community. So do you mind telling us just what we call it the MAC, the Military Affairs Committee? Why does it exist?
The purpose of the MAC is to support our local military here in the Grand Forks, East Grand Forks area. And the MAC is underneath the Chamber of Commerce, which covers both cities. And I like to think of the MAC as the connective tissue between the community and our local military. So a lot of people think that just means the air base, but we also support the Army Guard. There's an Army Reserve unit here in town. There's Army and Air Force ROTC units at UND. So what the MAC does is it provides that connective tissue with the community to welcome our local military in, to let them know that Grand Forks cares about them, to improve their quality of life, to advocate for them. Our military members can come from anywhere in the country, land in Grand Forks, North Dakota, and feel like this entire community has wrapped their arms around them and welcome them, and that we appreciate what they do.
What are some of the activities that the MAC does for the community?
We do a number of things. We support military events. There's a military appreciation football game coming up at UND. We do something with hockey. We had a military night at the races. We do a golf tournament every year where we pair up military folks with members of the community and their foursomes, and they go golf together and get to know one another on a more personal level.
Yeah, and I had the fortune of golfing this year in the tournament with a couple airmen, which was a lot of fun. What are some of the parallels you see from what we do on the MAC and kind of what CVIC does for the community?
So in addition to supporting our military members, the MAC also supports their families. And the families are extraordinarily important because the sacrifices the family makes oftentimes are even more than what we ask out of our service members. So CVIC does a lot for families in the community, and we do a lot for military families, and I think that's a lot of the connection where both organizations can work together to support those military families.
It's really powerful to hear, even when you have us do our updates, just how much we're all kind of facing some of the same challenges. So I'm curious for you, you've been retired now for about 5 years, but you served getting all the way to Brigadier General. I'm just curious how you got involved with the Military Affairs Committee.
Well, there was two primary reasons that I decided to get involved with the MAC. The first one was I recalled from my time here in Grand Forks with the Guard all of the wonderful things the MAC did for us back then, particularly after the '97 flood, because we were heavily involved in the flood recovery ops. The city really showed their appreciation to us after that, and that stuck with me. Secondly, after 3.5 decades in uniform, I had to do something. I couldn't stop serving, so I had to find a new way to serve, and then one of the ways I do that is through the MAC. So I still am able to, I feel like I'm taking care of the troops like I used to when I was still in uniform.
I appreciate you continuing your service to Grand Forks. The other thing that you work a lot on also is legislative priorities. I'm curious, as you get into 2025, what you're looking at for military efforts.
My co-chair is Scott Meyer, who's a state senator. What we're trying to do is improve licensure portability, particularly for spouses. So if you have a military spouse that moves here to follow their service member and they've got a professional certification in another state, how do we get reciprocity? And we made some inroads on that last session. We've still got a few areas where we need to improve. One of the needs at the Air Base is childcare, and so we've been working through some things to improve the childcare situation here. So when you've got dual working spouses, the kids become an issue. And then the other one that I was involved with over the last year or so, this one is more at the federal level, and I've spoken to Senator Kramer about it, is access to medical and mental health care, particularly for reservists. So the way that it works now, when they come off, if they're mobilized, they're covered under the military health care system called TRICARE. But once they demobilize and return to the Guard, all of that turns off. Yet they may still have some existing conditions from their service that need to be addressed, and getting them all the benefits that they deserve to have. So I've been working a little bit on that, but that again is more a federal level problem than it is at the state.
Thank you for that as well. The legislature is going to have its hands full. We've got a new governor coming in and a lot going on for session this year. If someone wants to support the military, what would you recommend?
So the Military Affairs Committee is a great place to begin. We are in need of volunteers to help support these different events that we do, and we're always in need of funding. So there's something called the Golden Eagles Club, and I think it's like $300 a year. And all of that money, 100% of it, goes into supporting the programs that we have for our local military.
It's truly a partnership, and we appreciate your leadership in this as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.